Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get latest notifications.
Assalamu alaikum dear students, hope you are all doing good. Let's start today's class. As in the previous lectures, we have completed our kingdom classification. So we have completed only 3 kingdom classification, like the first one is kingdom Monera, second one was Protista, and the third one was kingdom Fungi. So we have completed all the 3 kingdoms, their characteristics. So today let's start with another type of kingdom, and that is kingdom Plantae. Now let's start with the kingdom Plantae. So when we are discussing about the kingdom Plantae, we know all the plants are kept in the kingdom, this kingdom, that's kingdom Plantae. This kingdom Plantae was first given by Carolus Linnaeus. So we have discussed about that Carolus Linnaeus, he gave the 2 kingdom classification, that is kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. But in that 2 kingdom classification, he did not only kept the plants in it, but he kept also the non-photosynthetic organisms in it. Like for example, bacteria were there, fine, and some other organisms are like fungi, which are the decomposers, they were also kept in the kingdom Plantae. But later, when Whitaker gave the 5 kingdom classification, he excluded some of the organisms from this kingdom Plantae. For example, he excluded the algae. Fine, not all the types of algae, some algae only kept in this kingdom, while as the rest of the algae were kept in the kingdom Protista, as we discussed, like dinoflagellates, diatoms, euglenoids, they were kept in the kingdom Protozoa. Fine, so they were kept there in the kingdom Protista, and the other organisms like fungi were also excluded from this kingdom, which was given by the Linnaeus. So Linnaeus have kept these organisms in the kingdom Plantae, but later when the Whitaker gave the 5 kingdom classification, so these organisms have been excluded from this kingdom. So now we can say that in kingdom Plantae, all the plants are kept in this kingdom, fine, and the second thing is algae, some algae are also kept in this kingdom. So let's discuss kingdom Plantae characteristics. So we know now kingdom Plantae, it includes all the organisms, fine, it includes all the plants which show autotrophism, we can say. So we know they all can prepare their food, fine, with the help of photosynthesis, and they are all autotrophic organisms. So these organisms, these plants who can manufacture their food, including some algae. So algae were also kept in this kingdom known as kingdom Plantae because they are photoautotrophs. So algae and the green plants were kept in this kingdom. So in the kingdom Plantae, the different characteristics are, so let's start with the first characteristic of the kingdom Plantae. So all the plants are producers. So now when we are discussing about the plants, so they are all producers, they can manufacture their own food. Now these plants, they are multicellular, but algae are unicellular. All the algae are not multicellular. Some algae are multicellular, but some are unicellular. So we can say that in this group both unicellular as well as multicellular organisms were kept. But the most abundant organisms are multicellular. So they show multicellularity. So we can say now in kingdom Plantae, most of the organisms are multicellular, while as few are unicellular. Now these organisms which were kept in this kingdom, kingdom Plantae, they are all eukaryotic organisms. That means they have a well-developed cell. They have the membrane bound organelles in it. So we can say that as they are the eukaryotic organisms, so we have to discuss all the eukaryotic characteristics. Like these organisms, they have a well-developed cell, and this is the plant cell. So it is enveloped by a cell wall, which is a most important characteristic feature of the plant cell. So it is bounded by the cell wall, and the cell wall composition is that it is mainly made up of cellulose. So cell wall is made up of mainly cellulose, as we have earlier discussed about the monarans. They also have the cell wall, fungi also have the cell wall, but the composition is different. When we are talking about the monarans, their cell wall is mainly made up of peptidoglycan. And when we are discussing about the fungi cell wall, their cell wall is made up of chitin. But when we are discussing about the plant cell wall, its cell wall is mainly made up of cellulose. So this was about the cell wall. So all the plant cells, they are covered by a cell wall, and the composition of cell wall, that it is mainly made up of cellulose. Now when we go inside the cell wall, there is a cell membrane, fine, and we know the composition of cell membrane, it is mainly made up of lipids and proteins. And then inside the cell membrane, now there is presence of cytoplasm and a well developed nucleus. Since it is a eukaryotic cell, so it is having a well developed nucleus, that is the chromosome, the genetic material is present inside the nuclear membrane. So we can say that the genetic material is present in a nuclear membrane, so we can say that it has a well developed nucleus. And the other thing is about the cytoplasm. Now cytoplasm contains several membrane bound organelles in it. So these plants, fine, they are having a well developed cell. So they are having a well developed nucleus, as well as all the membrane bound organelles are present because they are the eukaryotic cells. And one more thing regarding these cells, that they also bear the plastids because they are photoautotrophs. So they can do the photosynthesis, which the animal cells do not have. So they are having the plastids which help them in the process of photosynthesis. And in mature plant cells, we will find a vacuole in the middle of the cell. Instead of nucleus, there will be a vacuole, and nucleus is present towards the periphery. And one more thing about the plant cell is that they are also have, because they are the eukaryotic cell, they also have the ribosome. Since ribosome is a membrane-less organelle, and in the plant cell it is of ATS nature because it is a eukaryotic cell. So all the eukaryotic organisms, they possesses the ribosomes, but ribosome is of ATS nature. So these were the different characteristics of the plants. Now some more characteristics, let's discuss those characteristics also. Like for example, what is their mode of nutrition? Now about the nutrition is, since they are all autotrophs, so their mode of nutrition is photoautotrophism. So they can manufacture their own food with the help of the photosynthesis. So they are all photoautotrophs, algae as well as all the plants. And now the second characteristics what we have to discuss, that is regarding the reproduction. That which mode of reproduction these organisms show. Now the plants, they show both the type of reproduction, that is asexual mode of reproduction and sexual mode of reproduction. Now when we talking about the asexual mode of reproduction, and we know in asexual mode of reproduction only one parent is involved. And in this type of reproduction, vegetative reproduction is seen in plants like fragmentation, like budding, like adventitious branches, they are used for the vegetative propagation. And the second thing is, the second mode of asexual reproduction is simply the spore formation. So they can also produce spores, and these spores are also able to get developed into a new organism, into a new plant. So this was about the asexual mode of reproduction. Now regarding the sexual mode of reproduction. So plants also show sexual mode of reproduction, in which there is formation of embryo. And vegetative cell and the cells which are involved in this sexual mode of reproduction, that is the gametes, are also formed. So we can say that sexual mode of reproduction, fine, we have the true sexual reproduction in case of plants. So there is the mating of gametes and the formation of zygote. So this was about the reproduction in case of plants. Now some more characteristic about the plants, like all of you must be knowing that plants, their growth is indefinite. They grow through their life period, while as when we compare this with the animals, animals cannot grow throughout their life period. Their growth is at to a certain limit, but plants, they can grow indefinitely, and their growth is not uniform. They can grow in any way. Like for example, if you take the example of a plant, the branch in the plant, they can grow anywhere. But in case of animals, for example, the arms always grow like this. but in case of plant, the branch can grow anywhere. So these were the characteristics of plants. So we were now aware about the main characteristics of plants. But now after this we have to start with the classification of plants, that how plants have been classified into different groups. So this was all about the main characteristic of plants. Hope you enjoyed the class. Take care. Allah Hafiz.